From the race for president to the battle for Congress.
That have supported us, and that's really what it's taken this entire campaign, which is incredibly humbling to have that group of people.
Tonight, voters get the last word.
Voting for every American to make their voice heard.
It's my obligation and my right.
It's my civic duty, and I feel like it's what I do to be an American.
Should they stay or should they go? And Big Spring voters had a huge decision to make.
This is an opportunity for the citizens to review my job and decide whether or not they think I've been living up to the promises I made last year.
All eyes are on the recall elections. The mayor and 2 city council seats are on the line.
I think that we took the 9, and so we'll just have to wait to see what the live voting today is going to bring in. But I feel confident we'll probably be in the runoff.
Well, I think it's great. It's always great to be in first place right now. I think what's more important is that it's just great how many people got out and voted. I think that is just it's such a huge privilege that we have as a United States citizen to vote, and we did exercise it today, and that's the most important.
Covering all the local races for you here in West Texas is the new mayor of Odessa living in the house behind me. Find out at 10.
You're watching News West 9 special coverage of Election 2020. After months and months of campaigning, ads, town halls, debates, all vying for your vote, the day is here. But like everything else in 2020, this election night looks and certainly feels different. Thanks for joining us here on our special coverage of the 2020 election. I'm Tatum Gwynn. Results for local races are rolling in. Our team is spread out across West Texas, covering the races you care about. From Midland to Odessa to Big Spring. Hey, we're even in San Angelo tonight. We have you covered all over. Our coverage tonight begins in Odessa, where voters weighed in on their choice on who should be the next mayor. Dewey Bryant takes the lead against Javier Hoeven right now. And you see, no one has 50% of the vote, so that means there could likely be a runoff between Dewey Bryant and Javier Hoeven tonight. As you see, Bryant is in the lead with 43% of the vote. And if these numbers stand, like I just said, there could be a runoff. Victor Lopez is standing by now with Bryant. Victor, a good night for him.
Hey, Tatum, thank you for that. And we are here live in Odessa, where it turns out that the race for mayor is actually a really close one. Here's why I say that. Because of the last numbers that we have received, we're still waiting for these numbers to update, but the last numbers that we had Dewey Bryant with 43% of the vote, Javier Hoeven with 40%, and Gloria Apolinario with 18%. Now, because neither Bryant nor Hoeven have a clear 50% majority, that means that unless that happens, this race is going to a runoff election. Now, in order for that not to happen, between now and the end of the night, somebody has got to get 50% or more. And these numbers have been pretty steady all night long. Ever since early voting came down, it's been a 43-40% race between Hoeven and Bryant. Now, again, the candidate that eventually gets this seat must have 50% or more. And right now, the 3 percentage points divide those two candidates. So it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. Of course, the final numbers have not been published yet. This is the last number that we had from the Ector County Elections Administration. We're waiting for those final numbers. And unless that happens, like I said, we're headed for a runoff for the mayor of Odessa. We'll keep you updated on those numbers as we get them. Live in Odessa, Victor Lopez, Tatum, back to you.
Victor, thank you. We're going to stay in Odessa. 4 candidates going head-to-head for the Odessa City Council at-large seats. But I'm going to say that you're going to hear this word a lot tonight. Runoff. There will likely be a runoff for this seat. As the number stands right now, we have David Turner. He's in the lead with 45% of the vote, followed by Denise Swanner. She has 29%. And then we've got Joanne Davenport and Latasha Gentry following them. Looking at the District 2 race, a close one here. Steve Thompson is leading with now 55% of the vote. Rachel Miner, she has 45%. And for Odessa City Council District 1, another race where a runoff is going to be likely. Right now, Mark Mata is in the lead with 44% of the vote, followed by Michael Shelton with 19%. It looks like this race could be between these two gentlemen here. Now, should they stay or should they go? Well, in Big Spring, that depends on what seat you're talking about. The mayor and 2 council member seats are up for recall. And as those numbers stand right now, Mayor Shannon Thomason is the only one who is likely to survive the recall elections in Big Spring. Crystal Cruz joins us now live with the mayor to talk about what this recall election means for the city. Hi, Crystal.
Well, right now we are still waiting for final results here in Big Spring. We don't have them just yet, but we do know right now that Mayor Shannon Thomason is surviving this recall election. 499 votes cushioned so far right now. How does it feel?
Well, it feels pretty good. I'm very appreciative of all the folks that voted in the early voting and here today on Election Day. No matter which way you vote, it's important that you do vote.
How does it make you feel knowing you have this support?
Well, obviously, it feels pretty good. I approach this as a personnel review for the citizens, and so far it looks like the bulk of the citizens feel that I'm doing a pretty decent job. I hope so.
All right, thank you, Mayor. And of course, we are still waiting for final results here. Hopefully, we'll know something pretty soon. Back to you.
Crystal, thank you. Turning our focus now on Midland education. It was a big theme there. 10 candidates running for the Midland ISD School Board, 3 places up for grabs at the Midland College Board of Trustees. Here's a look at the Midland College race. Early voting was pretty telling of the 2 races there. Place 7 and 8 for Midland College. Scott Lynch has more than 50% of the votes. In place 8, Adrian Carrasco has more than 50%. Actually, that's in place 7. Sammy Steele, she joins us now live from Carrasco's watch party at Bruce Street. Sammy, early voting results of Carrasco quite the lead with nearly 18,000 votes, beating 24-year incumbent Will Green, who has 10,000 votes from early voting. That crowd's got to be pretty happy where you are.
Tatum, I think that's an understatement. It is popping here. Clearly, it is popping here at Adrian Carrasco's watch party at Bruce Street. And rightfully so. From early voting numbers, it looks like he is in quite the lead. Now, Carrasco isn't the only chaparral in his family. His 9 siblings went to Midland College. He was the admission director and recruiter there, and his oil and gas company has given back philanthropically. Now, Carrasco says it's just the beginning.
So we're going to push that to be the #1 community college in Texas and in the nation, and it can. It's a great institution, great people over there. I'm going to fight hard for the staff, administrators, everybody. So it's just, my heart is great. It feels so good.
Carrasco and Scott Lynch look like the new winners for the Midland College, place 7 and 8, and they are clearly having a good time celebrating. Now they will be getting to work soon, but until then, I think I speak for Adrian when I say they're just going to enjoy this win. Reporting in Midland, I'm Sammy Steele. Back to you.
That's a good night for them. Staying in Midland, these are the candidates running for the Midland ISD Board of Trustees races. Starting with District 1, no one has claimed 50% of the vote, meaning there will likely be, hey, here's that word again, a runoff. Here's a look. James Fuller is in the lead right now, followed by Michael Booker, forcing the runoff between those 2. Now for District 4, another likely runoff. Steve Vargas is in the lead, followed by Katie Wallace-Joyner and then Joe Dial. As you can see, that runoff would likely be between Steve Vargas and Joyner. Now looking at District 7 seat, Brian Murray taking this one handedly with 60% of the vote against Joseph Gallegos. There are so many results to go through. You can find each of them on our website, newswest9.com, and I'll do one even better for you. We can send you those results right to your phone. Text us the word results to 567-9991 and we'll send you a link. Don't go anywhere. We've got more election coverage coming up after the break.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Can you all hear me? Mic check. Mic.
Our coverage continues here on News West 9. We're headed southeast to San Angelo, where we see it right here. This just became final. August Pfluger is the projected winner, and longtime Congressman Mike Conaway's successor. He got 80% of the vote. Our Jonathan Polasic is live at the Cactus Hotel in San Angelo. He's standing by to get the first word from August Pfluger. Good evening, Jonathan.
Good evening, Tatum. I'm still out here in San Angelo at the Cactus Hotel at August Pfluger's watch party, where he's been surrounded by his family, his friends, his loved ones who've come out here to support him. And, you know, with me is August Pfluger, you know, the projected winner of this race. You know, how important and how special was it for you to just have all of your friends, all of your family here with you tonight?
Well, it's a great feeling, and, you know, this is a team effort to get to this point, and so very, very special to have so many friends, family, and supporters, people from Midland and Odessa who drove over here tonight as well.
Absolutely. Now, you say that you got a lot that you'd like to accomplish in Congress, you know, but what are some of the key issues that you'd really like to tackle first?
You know, first and foremost, our oil and gas industry is under a complete assault. So standing up for it, being a voice to make sure that people know that it is not only helping our economy, but it's also a national security issue, and that is the first job that we're going to have to tackle.
Now, you had to work through this campaign a little differently than you would have in years past, just given the unusual circumstances with COVID-19. How did that affect your preparation and your work all of this year, really?
Well, the pandemic has been challenging, not just for our campaign, but for every American, folks that are owning small businesses, our oil and gas industry, like I've mentioned. So, you know, our job is to help those folks get back to work and get this economy kicking into gear.
Well, there you have it, your projected winner for the U.S. Congressional District 11 race, August Pfluger. Now, we'll still wait for the official results coming in a little bit later, but that's your projected winner. Reporting live in San Angelo, Jonathan Polasic, News West 9.
Jonathan, thank you. Another race Texans are watching closely is for U.S. Senate, and it appears his seat's safe. Republican John Cornyn was challenged by Democrat M.J. Hagar, but Hagar conceded to Cornyn a little under 2 hours ago, according to a spokesperson for Cornyn. AP, you should know, has yet to call this race, but with an 8% lead, it looks like Cornyn will add another 6 to his 18 years in the Senate. And as Americans flock to the polls on this final day of voting in the 2020 election, Democrat Joe Biden had a homecoming in his hometown, Scranton, Pennsylvania, before he headed off to events across the crucial battleground state. Meanwhile, President Trump traveled to Virginia to thank campaign workers, both bracing for a long night and the possibility that a winner may not be known for days. Alice Barr is at the White House with the latest.
Tatum, after an unprecedented campaign, at times bitter and bruising, it all comes down to this, and the tens of millions of Americans having their final say at the polls.
So many of
Tonight, President Trump and challenger Joe Biden coloring in the electoral map, nailing down the states that make up their base and beginning the wait for results from the remaining battlegrounds. In early projections, the president laying claim to Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. Biden on top in New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and his home state of Delaware. Snapshots on this election day. Houston area voters arriving on horseback. In Spalding County, Georgia, election machines crashed.
They said that the machines was down and they had paper ballots, but then they ran out of paper ballots.
And in closely watched Pennsylvania, voters packed an elementary school polling place outside of Philadelphia. Biden wrapped up his campaign a short distance away with a simple appeal.
We have to restore decency and honor in our system, or it's going to fall apart.
The former vice president began his day with a visit to church and the gravesite of his son, Beau. President Trump thanking campaign staff at his headquarters in Virginia.
Everybody should come together, and I think success brings us together. We're going to have a tremendous success.
Voters anxious for a resolution.
I think it's been really stressful for me, for everybody. I hope that we kind of transition to a better point moving forward.
Election officials urging patience, calm, and faith that every vote will count. While Joe Biden is watching results in Delaware tonight, President Trump is here at the White House with 300 to 400 guests expected for an event in the East Room. Staff saying everyone will be COVID tested before going in. From the White House, Alice Barr, News West 9. Tatum, back to you.
Thanks, Alice. Other races to know tonight, a big state race centered on the agency that regulates oil and gas. There are 4 candidates on the ballot for the Texas Railroad Commission. News West 9's Jelena Ogazaki has those unofficial results. Hi, Jelena.
Hey, Tatum. Yeah, if you don't know, there are 3 commissioners who are elected for statewide 6-year staggered terms on the Texas Railroad Commission. So all 3 are Republicans, including Ryan Sitton, but he was defeated by one of the candidates in the primary. So the ballot includes some of these candidates right here: Republican James Wright, Democratic Krista Castaneda, Libertarian Matt Sterrett, and then Green Party Kat Green. So here are the unofficial results so far as of 8:40 tonight. Republican James Wright leading the way with 54% of the vote once we get that popped up. Then Democratic for the ticket for the Democratic ticket, Krista Castaneda, she comes in with 43%. Then Libertarian Matt Sterrett coming in 3rd. Kat Green is coming in last for the Green Party ticket. So James Wright is leading right now. Once again, this is for Wright and Sitton's spot, and of course we're going to continue monitoring these results throughout the night. Tatum.
Oh, thanks, Joe. It's good to see you on the 10 o'clock show. But we have some really good weather for West Texas here on Election Day today. But we're going to take a quick break from election coverage to talk about your weather forecast coming up right after the break.
So when's the next one?
Yes, we're in darkness. Let's do a mic check real quick.
Okay, we're about to hit Jim.
No, well, we're gonna head at the end of the show. Where are we hitting? Right. Oh, at this break, like in this next block.
Okay, you better get ready, Crystal.
No, we're not. Do a mic check.
Okay.
Still doing a mic check, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mic check.
welcome back. We couldn't have asked for better weather today on this election day. Linda Hopper sent in this picture. This was the sunset earlier today in Stanton, a fiery sunset across West Texas. Thank you, Linda, for sending that one in. And here's what we saw today. We got up to 77 degrees at Midland International Airport, about 5 degrees above average for this time of the year. So really nice weather, really perfect in my opinion. And the low temperature this morning was pretty chilly, got down to 43. Satellite and radar picture across the whole country for election day, really nice weather. So voting turnout pretty good out there. Looking at high pressure across the middle of the country, and that's why we pretty much didn't really see clouds across West Texas. See a few clouds there in the Panhandle heading into Oklahoma City, but mainly clear skies across the Permian Basin and southeast New Mexico. And that high pressure is going to stick around for a couple more days, and because of that, into tomorrow and into Thursday, well above average temperatures are expected. 10 to 15 degrees above average. Today was only 5, so we're looking at even warmer weather expected Wednesday and Thursday. By early next week, we're going to fast forward to there. That's our next low pressure system, possibly a cold front coming in by about Monday night into Tuesday. Unfortunately, with this system, rain chances are going to stay pretty low. Right now, only 10 to 20%, but it's still 5 or 6 days away there, so we will keep you updated if that changes. Here's tomorrow, though. A pretty good day expected. Definitely on the warm side, though. 49 degrees at 7 a.m. A lot of sunshine. By 12, 76 degrees there. And by 4, we're looking at 84 degrees. Very, very warm. Southwest wind coming in 10 to 15 miles an hour. We're also tracking the tropics. This is Hurricane Eta. It made landfall in Nicaragua as a Category 4 hurricane. Thankfully, right now it has weakened to a Category 2 hurricane. And also with this, we're tracking the possibility it goes back into the Caribbean Sea and potentially towards Florida as we go towards the weekend and early next week. Could have some U.S. impacts there. Not expecting impacts in Texas, but still U.S. impacts will be possible with Eta. We'll keep you updated on that. And again, high temperatures tomorrow, about 83, 84 in the basin. A little bit warmer there, Pecos to Fort Stockton, and around the same Fort Davis, Marfa, and Alpine. A very warm day expected. Pretty much the same story on Thursday, 83 with lots of sun. Slightly cooler Friday and Saturday with temps into the 70s. Back to 80 Sunday, then a cold front for early next week. Tatum.
So we're still in the show.
Yeah, we're still in the show. Okay, shots are ready. You want to do a mic check?
Mic check, mic check. Oh.
We're going to check back in on several of the big races here locally, one of those being the race for the next mayor of the city of Odessa. Here's a look at how that stands right now. Dewey Bryant with 43% of the vote, Javier Hoeven 40%, and then Gloria Apolinario at 18%. You see Bryant, he's in the lead with 43% of the vote, though if these numbers stand, there could be a runoff between Bryant and Hoeven. Victor Lopez is standing by now. Victor, what do you know?
Hi, Tatum. Yeah, Corey and I have actually switched locations again. We're now outside of the Ector County Annex. We wanted to come out here and try to see if we can get some clarification or an update on numbers. And as luck would have it, on my way out, I ran into elections officials from Ector County, and they told me, this is from their mouth, not mine, it is unofficial, but right now it looks like the mayor's race in Odessa is going to a runoff. It is 43% of the vote for Dewey Bryant and 40% for Javier Hoeven. So neither one of them had a clear-cut 50% majority, so we're going to a runoff. Date and time for that to be decided, but that's just what I heard a few moments ago from elections officials here in Ector County. Odessa mayor's race is a runoff. Tatum, back to you.
Victor, always in the right place at the right time. Thank you so much. We're going to check in with other races coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. Let's talk about one of the more interesting elections of the night. The question for Big Spring voters, should they stay or should they go? It depends on who you're talking about. The mayor and 2 city council member seats are up for a recall. As those numbers stand right now, Mayor Shannon Thomason is the only one who is likely to survive this recall election. He's people voting against the recall, 55% to 45%. Crystal Cruz, she joins us now live to speak more with the mayor about what this election means for the city.
Tatum, we just got some brand new numbers in. We now have 27 of 28 precincts reporting. These are not final, but they're close. We want to get you up to date on the recall for Councilwoman for District 5, Camilla Strandy. Right now, for the recall, 785 votes. Against the recall, 554. This next recall is a lot closer. This is for City Council member for District 6. This is Jim DePaul. For the recall, 369. Against the recall, 345. We also have updated numbers for the mayor, Mayor Shannon Thomason. For the recall, 2,508. Against, 3,156. So let's go ahead and talk to the mayor. These are almost final results. How are you feeling right now?
Well, feel pretty good about it. You know, I'm just really appreciative to the citizens of Big Spring, everyone who came out and voted.
All right, well, we have a few more boxes left. I'm going to send it back to you.
Well, thanks, Crystal. Just to wrap up, weather forecast for tonight, we are seeing those temperatures falling this evening. A cool night, but not too chilly out there, falling into the 50s as we go into tomorrow. Well above average temperatures are expected. Low to mid 80s are expected across the Permian Basin. Even though it's the first week in November, still seeing those temperatures in the 80s. That's West Texas for you. Here's your 9-day forecast, and more 80s are expected there on Thursday. Friday and Saturday look slightly cooler in the 70s. Mornings still look nice in the 40s and 50s there, and then a little bit of a cold front as we go into early next week. But elections, it's been a day, and we still got more updates coming, right?
Yeah, we've got more, so don't go anywhere. More unofficial final results are starting to roll in. We're going to try to make sense of some of those, and we'll be back here in a few minutes to give you another update. You can also see all the results on our website, newswest9.com. Big night, and it's not over yet.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.